This is the audio version of the Robyn's Rocket Zine. It's funded by Arts Council England and supported by the UK Government and Heart and Soul. Hi, my name is Robyn Rocket. I'm a musician, visual artist and gig promoter. I'm autistic. This comic is about gigs I put on called Robyn's Rocket. I like experimental music. I would say experimental music is when the people making the music play instruments in ways they are not normally played and focus on sounds rather than tunes. The photo credits are by Karina Townsend, David Leskowski, Sian O'Connor and Sandra Reynolds, and more information at www.robynsrocket.com. I grew up in Suffolk, but now I live in London. When I moved to London, I had to learn how to go to gigs. I had to learn stuff like how to talk to new people, how to make my ears not ring after a loud show, and why the bands don't start playing for a while after the venue has opened. I am an artist at Heart and Soul, a charity that believes in the power and talents of people with learning disabilities and autistic people. I was going to gigs local to Heart and Soul, but not seeing my friends from Heart and Soul who live nearby. At the same time, I was going to gigs put on by charities supporting artists with learning disabilities and autistic people. Often the audience was mainly other people with learning disabilities and autistic people, which limits how many people the artists can reach. How Robyn's Rocket started. Heart and Soul support me to develop as an artist. They suggested a monthly gig. In September 2017, we held the first Robyn's Rocket. It was in the basement of Vinyl, a record shop in Deptford. I really wanted to make a space for artists and audiences with and without learning disabilities and autistic and non-autistic people. 2018, Robyn's Rocket was invited to do a pilot at Cafe Otto. In September 2018, it looked like this. In November 2019, Robyn's Rocket was given some funding. It now looks like this. I am only one person. I wanted to think about how other people might feel at gigs and to learn from other people how to make gigs more welcoming for more people. What would it feel like to put yourself in someone else's shoes? To be the youngest person at a gig. To be the oldest person at a gig, not having enough money to go to a gig, having caring responsibilities and having to leave early. To be the only person in a space with a visible disability. What if there was no toilet you felt you could use? Not knowing which band has which merch on the merch table. Not knowing what security will do to you. To be the only black person in a space. To be the only gay couple in a space. Inclusive conscious. I came up with a step-by-step process called Being Inclusive Conscious. The steps are below with space to write or draw your own thoughts of how you can be inclusive conscious. 1. Think who is not in the space. 2. Invite them in. 3. Ask for feedback. 4. Act on that feedback. How we are inclusive conscious at Robyn's Rocket. Active hosting. I introduce each artist, band and each break, explaining the tools we have to make more people welcome. The crew t-shirts is bright yellow, so the crew are easy to find. The space looks like a homemade spaceship, so you know you are somewhere different. We use floor markers so you know where it is safe to stand, and we lend out sunglasses and ear defenders. We make the toilets gender neutral. Tables have a timetable for people who need to know what will happen, information on merch, and card stars to write feedback. We encourage good and bad feedback. Social stories and photo journeys. For each gig, we make a social story. That's a document with 2 columns. One is for photos and the other is for text. The social story explains what to expect at the event. We also make photo journeys, which are in the same format, but explain how to get to and from local transport links, such as train stations. When you arrive at Cafe Otto, you may have to wait outside until Cafe Otto is ready. When you walk into Cafe Oto, you will be asked whether you have a ticket or would like to buy one. If you have bought a ticket, the person sat by the door will ask you for your name. Chat points. A chat point is a poster showing a topic and prompts about the topic. Anyone who wants to meet new people can go to a chat point to chat to someone new. If they find chatting difficult, they use the prompts to help them. Chat point London. Prompts. What is your favourite place in London? Who is the most interesting person you have met in London? Tech Access Rider Survey. We have a survey to collect tech and access riders and give examples. Artists' shapes and colours. Each artist has a shape and colour, so you don't have to be able to read their name to know who is playing. You will find the shapes and colours on the timetable, the merch table and the stage. Streaming. We stream our gigs so more people can come. People like parents, people with health conditions, shift workers. Rocket badges. Rocket badges are given to everyone at Robyn's Rocket. They are a way for people to let other people know how much communication they want to have with other people. Up equals happy to talk to anyone. Sideways equals I only want to talk to people I know. Down equals I don't want to talk to anyone. I program artists with and without learning disabilities and autistic and non-autistic artists. I choose artists based on quality and creating a great experience for audiences. SpacePod. In 2025, Robyn Rocket and Cleo Sava went to the Level Centre, an inclusive arts centre in Derbyshire. We received a grant and used it to make a SpacePod, a kind of installation that made it possible to take a little bit of Robyn's Rocket to other places like festivals. The SpacePod is designed to be for all ages. It can host gigs and workshops or be a chill-out space. Bleep bleep. Royal Albert Hall. In February 2026, the Royal Albert Hall commissioned Robyn's Rocket for a night at its Elgar room. Robyn's Rocket. May 14th. Henge, DMS, Marion Vizzy, plus live visuals by Rucksack Cinema. Fabric Farringdon. In March 2026, Robyn's Rocket became a community interest company, and in May, we're doing our biggest gig ever at Fabric, the iconic nightclub in London. Before you go, do you have any positive or negative feedback on this comic? Email robyn@robynsrocket.com. Robyn is spelled Robyn. Thank you for reading. Please share this comic or zine with your friends. Bye!